Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome in. I'm going to do something fun here. I'm going to show you guys a knife from a company that you may not be familiar with. They're called Red Horse Knife Works, and the knife maker that owns that, his name is Edward Kim. And what I'm going to show you is something that's quite a bit different than many of the knives in my collection that you've seen me do videos on, but one that I'm particularly proud of having because it's something that really is different, that doesn't really compete for pocket time against my other knives. I know when I'm going to be in the mood to carry this, and there's not another knife in my collection that really conflicts with it. The greatest thing, however, is these are somewhat affordable and they're somewhat readily available. So what I'm about to show you, I don't usually get the chance to say this, is something that you're going to be able to buy yourself and not really have to break your ass to do it. So let's take a look at it first off in the closed position. What we're looking at is the Red Horse Knife Works Chopper. This is their premier grade model. They have several models available. And this is, in my opinion, one hell of a stout little EDC. What a great profile this thing has. And you can see while it's closed that this is going to be a very aggressively designed knife. And that was the first thing that attracted me when I saw the images on their website, which by the way is redhorseknives.com. I fell in love. Now, there are a few things about this knife that when you look at it, and if you've watched enough of my videos, you go, well, that's not really typically Jim's taste, especially the thumb disc. However, I have really grown to appreciate a thumb disc on certain knives if it's done the right way. Many of you might remember I've had issues with trying to open a knife with a thumb disc, and my thumb couldn't quite reach as far as the thumb disc really went out. And as you see, I don't have a problem reaching all the way to where this one goes. So if I want to open it slow, I can, and my thumb makes the reach. But this is such a flickable little knife. Even though I've only had this for a few days and it's not anywhere near broken in, it flips great. All right, so what we're looking at here is a 3.5-inch D2 tool steel blade running at about 58 Rockwell hardness. Nice clean satin finish on the flats and belt finish on the primary bevel. See that again here on this side. And you see the secondary bevel is only done on this side. Now, I don't know how common that might be. I can't recall, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, I can't recall handling any other knives that were V-ground like this, and this is a flat grind, by the way, that were V-ground but only had the secondary bevel on one side instead of on both sides. So I don't know if that's really going to increase cutting performance or not, but I will tell you this, it is stupid sharp out of the box. This thing rips through everything I've thrown at it, and it's just been fantastic. Overall, it's only 8 inches, which keeps this in the smaller size category for a 3.5-inch blade. Let me lay this down, and it's easier just to lay it down on the non-clip side. And I'm going to give you a comparison to a couple of my favorite 3.5-inch knives. This is the David Clark Grunt, which is a wonderfully compact knife at 3.5 inches, and you see they're almost identical. And my Mac Cucchiara Dorado, oops, and you'll see once again nearly identical. And I think the only 3.5-incher that I have that's going to be that much smaller is probably my Todd Fisher Archangel. Now if we put that there and we don't count the skull breaker, this still comes out a little bit smaller. So you've definitely got it into the smaller, more compact arena for a 3.5-inch blade. Get all those out of the way and focus back on this. Now you're also looking at 6AL4V titanium handles in a titanium frame lock. And what he's done here, and this is a standard finish here, is the bead blasting to get that nice matte finish. Then he does, and I had requested this, but I think it's something that he already did anyway, was a light tumble after that to give it a nice smooth finish. And I don't know if my lights in here are going to properly replicate it, but in the sun it works well. You'll see flecks of like polished titanium that comes through when you do that. Same thing I had Ramon Chavez do on my Redencian prototype. I love that finish. I've got that nice dark matte look, but I don't have that kind of gritty, rough feel to it. It's almost glass smooth. I like that particular finish. Did a great job all the way around on that. He's using Alpha Knife Supply pivots. Nice, clean, simple, almost a moon disc pivot on that side. And there is your pivot screw on this side. And he's using Alpha Knife Supply bearings inside as well. So you've got a nice, quick, smooth, fast action. And here's the thing. These start in the basic variation at $450. Now, how is that possible? Because these are actually mid-tech knives. These are not full house customs. But they tend to blur the line a little bit between custom and mid-tech, because while they are a mid-tech brand, they offer customized options. When we first started talking about this knife, I said, you know, if I'm going to do a thumb disc, I want a custom thumb disc that my finger's going to grab really, really well so that I can get a nice flick out of it. And someone in his shop suggested, her name, by the way, I'm not trying to ignore her name is Amanda, who used to work in the jewelry industry, suggested that they shape the solid copper thumb disc in the shape of a cushion cut gemstone. And I got to tell you, she did an amazing job on this. It is flawless. It's perfect. What a fantastic job. So I'll just say directly to Ed, you need to get input from her much more often, because that is the centerpiece for this entire knife, in my opinion. There's something about the way that that flows. Looks incredible. The other request that I made was to have a solid copper backspacer. Didn't really care how he did it, just wanted to make sure it was copper, mirror polished. He did a fantastic job. And you'll see I've already been carrying it. It's already got a little bit of patina to it. It's going to continue to age. I just got to pick up some copper cleaner so I can keep it from, getting corroded or whatnot. But it looks fan-freaking-tastic. The custom pocket clip that you see here is titanium, beautifully sculpted. I love the scallops that he did. He did a great job polishing it, and then adding the scallops just gave it a whole new dimension all the way around. Looks fantastic. And then you get, again, back to that blade grind. Ridiculously sharp. Well done. And that tip right there. That is just fantastic. The way that he's beveled this. So I have the feel and the performance of a custom knife, but it began life as a mid-tech. One of the surprises he threw in that we didn't discuss that I really love that he did, because I feel it adds a bit of character to the knife, is he mirror polished that little swedge right there. Actually feels nice too, but it looks fantastic. Now, they're best known for their very, very aggressive design called the War Pig. And if you've seen anything about these guys at all, it really was probably about the War Pig. And I do actually want to get one of those for myself at some point. But each and every one of these are hand-assembled by Ed. He sets the lock. He's setting the detents. So he's doing everything himself by hand. So they really, you can call them mid-tech because they are having the parts pre-formed and pre-cut for them. But all the, all the grinding is done by him. The locks, the detent, everything is done by him by hand in his shop. And it gives him a lead time of about 4 to 6 weeks. So you're able to get into a knife that you can afford, especially at the base price. If you don't add any options, and there are a lot of options that he has listed on the website, but you can also request other things, and if he's able to work with it, he's happy to do it. He lists Timascus on his website and all kinds of neat stuff. Typically, you would get standoffs on this particular model, but I requested for a backspacer, and he was happy to oblige. I feel in my hand a custom knife. I feel in my wallet a mid-tech, and you've got to love that. You've got to love having the flexibility of, okay, I can buy something that now I'm not afraid to use because I'm not spending $1,000 or more for it. And I don't have to wait 6 months, a year, 2 years, like we're so used to doing. And if I want to add something special, if it's within, the scope of reality, Ed is happy to do it. Really great customer service, by the way. And one of the neat things that I found interesting anyway was, they distribute to Howard over at Knife Center. I've had a chance to meet Howard. He is a really super fantastic guy. And if you've never bought anything from Knife Center, whether it's a Red Horse or anything else, you need to visit Knife Center. Just a super swell guy. So he distributes to Knife Center and KnifeWorks.com. And if you were to buy a basic standard model of whatever variation from Knife Center, and you call up Ed and say, hey, I was kind of thinking I'd love to have like a Timascus pocket clip and I don't know, a Timascus thumb disc, because that's something that you'd be able to do. He is happy to custom modify a knife that you've already purchased from a retailer. So you don't necessarily have to order the knife directly from their website and then have them work on it. You can buy one, get it in your hand, get a feel for it at that lower price, and realize if it's the knife for you or not, and then you can, spend the extra money and further modify it. He does different finishes on the blades, on the handles, just a world of options. And like I said, Ed's a really fantastic guy. He's actually a martial artist and former private security contractor. So yeah, pretty much he's an all-around badass. Probably wouldn't want to fuck with him. Probably wouldn't want to piss him off because he's actually got 15 years of martial arts background behind him. So yeah, and being a former MMA competitor, I don't think I really want to mess with any MMA guys. I don't know. That's kind of the real deal right there. I have to be super careful when I'm playing around the blade side of this because it is stupid sharp. Dude definitely did a great job on this. Oh. Nice detent. See if I can bring that back down for you and you can hear it. Very, very positive detent. There's only two things on this that I would change, and one that if I had realized it, I know that he would have made happen for me. There's no way to attach a lanyard to this, and if I would have realized that and said that, he would have done something probably in the backspacer that would have allowed me to do that. So that's entirely on me. It has nothing to do with Ed whatsoever. And the retention on the clip is a little bit light. Not dangerous enough where if I squat down, it's going to get pushed out of my pocket, but it really is easy to get in and out of the pocket. A little bit easier than I'm used to. The good thing is it's very simple hardware. Just break out, I assume it's a Torx? Yeah. So I can just break out one of my Torx sets, pop the clip off and give it a quick little bend and it'll be just fine. But again, this was a custom clip that he really did at the last minute because we were kind of going back and forth trying to figure out what's the best clip to tie all this together. And you can't do a clip out of copper because it's way too soft, it'll bend. So this was the solution he came up with, and it's a beautiful showpiece is what it is. So that's it. I mean, I really have nothing on the negative side to discuss about this. This is one of the knives that when I pick it up, I love the fact that it's super chunky and super beefy for such a short little knife. I feel like I got a really good grip on it. I love the two finger choils here because it really fits the anatomy of my particular hand. I can hold it in reverse grip just fine for any kind of hard kind of cutting I have on the reverse. And while I don't really consider this to be much of a tactical knife, it certainly fits in my hand in every kind of grip that I would want to use in a self-defense situation. So all in all, I've got what I feel is a workhorse. It's a super tough knife. It's got a really useful blade profile, going to be really great for slicing. Again, I'm not installing carpet or anything and trimming off shit. I'm a very suburban kind of guy, so I don't use my knives in the way maybe some other people would in the workforce or as an outdoorsy person. But when I want to cut something, I want to know that I have something in my pocket that's going to pretty much do everything. And this is one of those knives that I consider to be a great EDC and a rather utilitarian knife as well. And by adding a few extra options, making it pocket jewelry, making it an impressive showpiece, so that when you flick this open and you pull this out, any knife guy that's around is going to look at it and go, oh, dude, that's a really cool knife. Where'd you get that? And then you've got that great little story behind it. He makes it very comfortable with all the chamfered edges all the way around the titanium. Fits in the hand well. Really, everything was thought out on this extremely well. It does have fairly late lockup, as you see right there, well past half. Probably closer to 70% lockup, as I see through my teeny tiny little viewfinder here. This is one of the knives that gets me giggly in all my tickly spots. It's something that when I'm carrying it, it's fairly unobtrusive because of the small size when it's folded up. As you see, it almost disappears in my hand. But it is nice and chunky. It's got a great profile to it. So when I go to pull this out, I've got this beefy thing in my hand. And usually that only happens when I'm going to the bathroom. So I've got something that's fairly unobtrusive in my pocket. I've got something that I feel is a really tough, I mean, look at that 3/16 inch thick blade stock. I feel like it's a tough knife. It's something that I'm not going to shy away from. You know, if I got to cut down boxes or whatever it is, it's just going to glide right through it. Super sharp, great edge on it. It's just something that I feel is a great all-around. Is it a majestic showpiece? No, but I didn't pay $1,500 for it either. So you have to keep things in perspective. Now, I don't know how far in excess Ed will go on an order. I don't believe that you could order one in full Damascus or anything. I mean, hey, it can't hurt to ask, right? But he's offering knives for people that want to use their knife, for somebody that wants an affordable option to the primary custom market that's out there. Because really, when you think about it, there are a lot of makers out there offering clean tie frame lock folders, not too different from this. Obviously not the same kind of styling to it, but not too different from the way this is built and constructed, for $800 as a minimum. As a minimum. And it's usually going to be from a maker that you can't get on their books because they're the hot ticket and everybody wants them. So that $800 turns into $1,500 on the secondary market so that you can get one in your hands. And Ed's philosophy is this: let me make something that's affordable for more people, maybe not everybody, but more people. I can get it in their hands quickly with a general lead time of 4 to 6 weeks. And they can pick and choose some options so that it can be somewhat of a personal experience, something that you can have that's just yours. There isn't another chopper out there like mine. Unfortunately, I know what happens when I make a video. At some point, there is going to be another one. Somebody's going to want exactly what's in the video. That's fine, whatever. Hopefully it won't be done, but you never know. So you've got something that's unique to you. You didn't break the bank to do it. Can't ask for anything better than that, right? So remember, if you want to pick one of these up or you want to check them out more, you can go direct to their website. They have a few pictures on there. I've done some photography on this. You saw one picture in the screen capture when you started the video. I'm going to send my pictures over to Ed and allow him to use those, because I think that you'll get a better feel for just how beautiful this knife really is over kind of stock standard shots. But if you want to be able to pick one up, head on over to Knife Center or Knife Works and go through their selection, see what's available. Look at the other models they offer as well. Maybe this particular style isn't your flavor. That's fine. It is a very aggressive and bold style. And maybe they have something that will suit you a little bit better. And by the way, check out the War Pig. You think this is aggressive? Oh, that War Pig is just mean, wicked, and nasty. I'm going to be ordering up one of those bastards. That's for damn sure. So definitely check them out over at Knife Center. See, if you find one that works for you, I would suggest this: get what's there, play with it for a few days, carry it, see how you like it, and then decide what you might want to do and give Ed a call on the phone. He is a super awesome, nice guy. Give him a call or shoot him an email and ask what the options are, see how you can price it out, and do something cool and tailored just to you. That's the way I would do it. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now. I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.